10 years ago, my life fell apart. My daughter, Lily, who was only 8 at the time, vanished from our backyard. We lived on the edge of a vast, dense national forest in the Pacific Northwest. One sunny afternoon, she was playing on her swing set. The next, she was gone. The search began immediately. Police, volunteers, search dogs, everyone combed the woods for days, which turned into weeks. Hope started to fade, replaced by a gnawing, hollow despair that consumed our family. My wife and I barely spoke. The silence in our house was heavier than any sound. We had all but given up. The official search was called off. The volunteers went home. It was just us, left with a ghost of a memory and an empty bedroom. One morning, about a month after she disappeared, I couldn't stand it anymore. I walked back into those woods, not with any real hope of finding her, but just to feel close to the last place she was. I just walked 4 hours deeper than any of the search parties had gone, calling her name until my voice was raw. That's when I saw it. A trail of broken branches, too high for a deer or a bear, and footprints. Huge, human-like footprints pressed deep into the damp earth. My heart hammered against my ribs. I wasn't a Bigfoot believer. I thought it was all folklore, stories to scare kids. But desperation makes you consider the impossible. I followed the tracks, my skepticism warring with a sliver of insane hope. The trail led me to a small hidden cave tucked behind a waterfall. The entrance was partially covered by a large boulder that had been rolled aside. Inside, my blood ran cold. There was a makeshift bed of moss and leaves, and on it, sleeping soundly, was Lily. She was thin, her clothes were tattered, but she was alive. She was breathing. I rushed to her, crying her name. She woke up, startled, and then her eyes lit up. "Daddy," she yelled, throwing her arms around me. I held her so tight, I never wanted to let go. After a moment, I asked her, "Lily, how did you get here? Who brought you here?" She pointed a small, shaky finger toward the back of the cave. "My friend," she whispered. "He's big and hairy. He kept me warm and brought me berries." As my eyes adjusted to the dim light, I saw him. A massive, shadowy figure huddled in the corner of the cave. It was at least 8 feet tall, covered in dark, matted hair. It didn't move, it just watched us. Its eyes, they weren't menacing. They were surprisingly gentle, almost sad. I wasn't scared. All I felt was an overwhelming sense of gratitude. This creature, this Sasquatch, had found my lost daughter and protected her. I picked Lily up. As I turned to leave, I looked back at the creature. I just nodded. "Thank you," I mouthed. It didn't respond, but I felt it understood. I carried Lily out of those woods and back into the world, back to her mother, back to our lives. When we got back, the story was impossible to tell. Who would believe us? We told the authorities she'd found the cave herself and survived on berries and stream water. It was easier. It was believable, but we knew the truth. We knew who her guardian had been. Lily talked about her hairy friend for months. She said he would hum to her at night to help her sleep, and that he'd gently nudge her away from poisonous plants. He never hurt her, never scared her, he saved her. That experience changed everything for me. It wasn't just about finding my daughter. It was about realizing how little we know about the world around us. There are mysteries in those deep, dark woods, things that science and logic can't explain. I stopped looking at the forest as just a collection of trees and started seeing it as a living, breathing entity with secrets of its own. My family healed. The joy of having Lily back was so immense it washed away all the darkness that had settled in our home. We moved away a few years later, needing a fresh start away from the painful memories. But I've never forgotten. I've spent the last decade reading every account, every piece of research I can find on these creatures. Most people dismiss it, laugh at it, but I can't, because I know they're real. I know they're not monsters. I know one of them saved my daughter's life, and in doing so, saved my entire family. I owe it a debt I can never repay. My daughter is now a young woman getting ready for college. Every time I look at her, I remember that day in the woods, and I feel a profound sense of wonder and gratitude. The world is so much bigger and more mysterious than we think, and sometimes, in our darkest moments, help comes from the most unexpected places. Maybe we should be a little more open to the possibility of magic still existing in the wild corners of our world. Thank you for listening to my story. It's the first time I've told it in its entirety. If you have your own experiences or just want to discuss the mysteries of the unknown, please share in the comments below. And if you're interested in more stories that challenge what we think we know, consider subscribing. Thanks for being here.